What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Front Yard Fantasy. I am your host, Justin. Today, we are talking 3 running backs to sell in Dynasty. Now, before we get into it, if you like what we're doing here, you like Dynasty, you like Redraft, you like game shows, all that kind of stuff that we have here at FYF, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, like the video, questions, comments, trade questions specifically, drop it down below, guys. Number 1 on the list, and this is a big one, it is Derrick Henry. And I know what you're thinking, right? Derrick Henry, he's a perennial top 5 running back. He could be the RB1 this year. He would have been last year. Why would I ever trade him away? In Dynasty, you're trying to just get ahead and prolong being good, right? You don't want to have enormous peaks and enormous lows, right? You want to be able to be continually competitive every single season. And trading Derrick Henry, again, even at 28 years old, you're already going to be selling him for less than what you could have last season or the year before. The wear and tear is going to catch up with him at some point. I don't know if it's this season, maybe it's next year, but you don't want to be left holding the bag. And that's what this trade is about, is getting out while he's still good and productive and can also give you, a hell of a return so you can stay competitive for longer. When you're looking at total touches, he is second in the NFL in active running backs for career carries. He's just over 14,000. Last season alone, he was on pace for 465 touches. That's rushes and targets. It's nearly unsustainable. And again, we saw him break a bone in his foot last season and require surgery. When he came back for the playoffs, he wasn't right. He came back probably a little bit too soon, but it was the playoffs, right? You have to go out there and compete. So we get that. But now, again, 28 years old, 29 heading into next season, it's not a guarantee he returns to form. It's not a guarantee he returns to the guy that we saw rush for 2,000 yards previously, right? You already saw a dip in efficiency, and that could be because of a crazy workload. It could also be because he's getting older. Again, like I said, the wear and tear is building. He's not going to fall off a cliff this season, at least, I don't think. But it's going to happen. This is the time. We know he's productive. We know he is good. Sell him for players that are going to potentially give you more back, for longer. So, as always, whenever we do these trade videos, we like to talk about, what trades have happened, over on MFL, and how does that translate to actionable Dynasty advice? Well, the first one, this trade took place, Derrick Henry for DK Metcalf. You presume, that's a win now team going and making a move for Derrick Henry. And that's a good move, right? I think that's a fair trade because I don't think DK Metcalf is going to be good this season, but I still want every bit of DK Metcalf in Dynasty because the quarterback situation, it's going to improve. We know that. It can't be as bad as Drew Lock and Geno Smith forever. So DK Metcalf for Derrick Henry, that's a rebuilding and a win now trade, wrapped up into one. I prefer DK Metcalf. Again, apply it to your circumstances. The next one here, and this trade's terrible. Derrick Henry for Amari Cooper and Gabe Davis. Why would anybody do that? And if you're confused on what side I like, it's Derrick Henry. Again, I don't want him on every team. I don't care if I'm winning or trying to compete or I'm tanking. I'm not trading Derrick Henry for Amari Cooper and Gabe Davis. Just not going to happen. Amari Cooper is going to have a terrible season this year. He's getting older, and he's not an alpha wide receiver. Gabe Davis is just speculation. He has done nothing for 2 seasons outside of a great playoff game, which again was spectacular. But you should be able to get so much more for Derrick Henry. I mean, if you think about it, just in terms of the other trade, are you trading Amari Cooper and Gabe Davis for DK Metcalf? No, or at least you shouldn't be. That's just a bad trade. Don't take Derrick Henry. So I'm not saying sell him for peanuts. That's not what we're doing here. But get something of value, like a DK Metcalf. I think that's a good move. Amari Cooper, Gabe Davis, terrible. Moving on to our next one here, and this is the other end of the spectrum. We have Isiah Pacheco, and if you watched our Kansas City Chiefs sleeper breakout bust video, he was my sleeper before we got into training camp, and now Dynasty Twitter has just run off, and his value is out of control, and it's skyrocketing, and people are forgetting he's a 7th-round rookie in a weird backfield that's full of aging vets and a guy that has first-round draft capital, and it just happens to be on an elite offense, right? That's the appeal. He could win that job. He's a 7th-round pick. historically, he's not going to pan out. I mean, you can bet on the outlier. Sure, I'm not giving up a lot to get him. I'm really not trading for him at all because I think if you can turn Isiah Pacheco into better draft picks, I just think that's an easy move, right? Again, all of the trades that I looked at involving Isiah Pacheco, again, the 7th round draft pick, have been just centered around 2023 draft picks, and I think that's the right move. Cash out now. The fact that you could find a guy on waivers or pick him up, with your last pick in the 2022 draft, 2022 rookie draft, the fact that you can turn him into anything meaningful is a win. Those are the ones I'm fine to be wrong. Maybe he does good things this season. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a long-term dynasty asset, and it's unlikely he gives you enough to where he's really a true difference maker in dynasty this season. So you may as well take the chance and upgrade him to a better, unknown. That's what draft picks are. Upgrade him to a better unknown. So when we look at, what he's gone for, this first one just crazy to me. Isiah Pacheco, and in the notes it says mid 2022 second or 2023 second. Think take that for what you will. For a late, expected late round first in 2023. So basically, you move up half a round for Isiah Pacheco. Yeah. Yes. Do it 100 times over. 2023 first are like gold. If you can do it with basically a probably replaceable level dynasty asset and a second round pick, that's a no-brainer. Because that's one you look at in 6 months, nobody's making that trade. It's just not going to happen. Even if he balls out, the fear is they're going to draft somebody. So he's not a long-term asset. Take that money and run. And then the second trade here, Isiah Pacheco for just a straight-up second-round pick. He didn't specify early, mid, or late, and I don't care when it is. I will take that, especially in a super flex league. That second is going to carry a lot of value, and you're going to get a guy that has a better NFL investment than the 7th-round pick that you're trading, right? Like, that's the thought process here. You're upgrading, again, still an unknown, but upgrading to a likely safer asset that's going to have a longer leash on their career. And those are the type of moves that make you a good dynasty owner. They give you a better chance at fielding, a more competitive team. And to close us out, we don't have a super old veteran. We don't have a rookie. And there's someone right down the middle. And if you follow me on Twitter, I'm not a huge fan. It is Rashaad Penny. And the reason I'm excited to sell him right now specifically is that there's a new window. The window has opened. Kenneth Walker has surgery. No timetable for his return. So win now teams are going to be looking and thinking Rashaad Penny's going to be the guy for the season. And that could be true now, right? Kenneth Walker potentially out of the way for, again, the foreseeable future. Rashaad Penny has a clear path to being the lead back. That is great. Like, that's exciting. What's not exciting is he's going to be the lead back for potentially the worst offense in the NFL. Like, that's unappealing. He's not a pass catcher, or at least he has not been in this system. And this offense is just not going to be good no matter if it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith or they find somebody else. If they find Jimmy G, scrap it. This is invalid. But if it's not Jimmy G and it's the two guys on the roster, it's not fun. And Rashaad Penny, are we sure he's going to give you, top 20 numbers? Again, the offense is already one thing to worry about. Rashaad Penny, as a player, is different, right? He's been an efficient rusher, but that's also been with Russell Wilson. And when you look at over his career, right, we have 37 games. 40% of his yards came in that 4-game stretch in 2021. 40% of his yards over 2 seasons worth of games. Again, he's played for been in the NFL for 4 years. He's played 37 games only. Injury, I'm not going to knock him because it's unpredictable. The production, his inability to take a monster role unless basically handed to him, probably points to the fact he's not the greatest running back. And again, on a bad offense, it's just a really, really tough situation to get excited about. And to make it worse, he's going to be 27 next year on his 3rd contract, potentially on a new team. He's just kind of waiting. He's a ticking time bomb. I'm happy to move him. Even if I'm a win-now team, you're really not a win-now team if you're relying on Rashaad Penny. Let someone else think they are, and that's fine. Move on from Rashaad Penny. Again, what we've seen him traded for, Dameon Pierce, straight up. And this was like 2 days ago. Yeah, I'm not a huge Dameon Pierce guy, but I'll take the younger running back on an offense that I think is going to be better. I'll take that chance. A guy that does carry some pass catching upside. I'm happy to move on from Rashaad Penny. Again, just to get younger and a guy that probably is going to put up similar production. That's easy. The next one here, Rashaad Penny for Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah, again, Juju's young. He's become an unknown again after having a great start to his career, but now looks to be primed for a big 2022. I'm excited about it. I would gladly flip Penny, who maybe has a 1-year shelf life for Juju, who's going to be available and at least produce in the NFL for a few more seasons, a lot more seasons. He's really young still. I think that's an easy one. And then the bonus trade here, Rashaad Penny for 2023 second. Yeah, I don't care. Again, I'm probably not going to do it for a late, but if you think somebody's going to have an early to mid second round pick, I'm happy to pull the trigger there. Again, assess your team, and if you are capable of giving up, potentially your 4th or 5th running back on a competitive team, that's fine. Make that deal, but otherwise, again, apply it to your circumstances. All right, that is all we have for you. Again, if you like what we're doing here, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications. We got videos dropping every single day, and it'll be 10 plus videos a week come the season, so check us out, guys. Subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.